the
location,
facility, swimming pool, what and what. Then cantonments who are East Legon, Libi.
East Legon, the apartment in East Legon, almost game room. Them get
they have restaurants. They have cinema.
Restaurant.
That be my point. But people are still patronizing the one in cantonments more than the one in East Legon. At a higher price.
Have you gone through their books?
At a higher price. No, from my experience.
No, the rate. Yeah, let's talk about the rate. The rate. Why are guests patronizing some apartments in cantonment?
Cantonment is safer to me. There's been an influx of high-rise buildings or apartment complex here in Ghana, especially in the capital. Welcome to our first episode of the Check-In podcast. I'm checked in with Jeff and Roland. Charlie, what's up?
Why you dey smile at me like that? You miss me or what?
You be my guy. You be my guy. What's up?
It behaves like I see you like years ago.
Today's episode is sponsored by Apartment Opal. You can contact them on the numbers below. Roland, how easy is it to acquire an apartment in Ghana?
If you did talk about acquiring an apartment, are you talking about buying one, owning one? I mean, is it owning or owning one? Or Charlie, make you? Yeah, are you talking about owning one or renting one out for your business?
So first off, owning it, you need to own it before it becomes a business. We are into the business of it, but we'll start with how easy it is to own one. Because, if you look all over the city, airports, cantonments, everywhere, new buildings, it's like, it looks as if it's cheap because it's all over. How difficult or how easy is it to acquire an apartment, especially in the prime areas here in Accra?
If you had to ask me, I think it has to do with the process. If you are taking all your money and just pumping it into one investment, for me, I don't think is ideally the best. If we are to use other countries, let me say US, there's a mortgage option where you can take that and then at least you use it to buy an apartment and then pay bit by bit. But here in Ghana, it's quite difficult, especially for foreigners. Most people who purchase this are the foreign investors as well as the locals as well. But if you're a foreign investor and you want to acquire an apartment here, especially when you are not a citizen, it's quite tough because there's the leasing bits where you end up you end up getting it for like 50 years after acquiring. But when you're a citizen, I think the regulations is a bit different. Yes.
But talking about mortgage in the US, we have some banks that offer mortgage. Roland, you and I spoke at a seminar, I think 2 years ago, and one of the banks came there and then they were selling their mortgage. And it was to the foreign investors.
Okay.
The diasporans. So it's not easy, but I think we have it. It's not as it is not as simple or as easy as it may be in other countries. The regulations like you mentioned.
Mm-hmm. But isn't it easier for the foreigners compared to the locals?
You think it's easier because they can afford it?
Yes.
So, but it's not.
But it's the capital first.
You need the money.
How many people can even afford mortgages in Ghana?
Yes, but you see, if you're for you to be even able to acquire or buy an apartment, you need to have some, let me see, some serious, some block.
If you hold.
If you just get up and say, I'm buying an apartment with just some few coins or something.
Plus, you need a plan for
it. Exactly. So for you to even take that bold step, you need to have some serious income somewhere. And definitely, I'm sure you would have sought some financial advice before you take that step. This is for the foreigners because of this mortgage plans we didn't get, So they help them like on how they need to acquire apartments from here. The major challenge has to do with when they have the money now, they want to buy it here.
In the
The
processes.
process, because I can't remember there was one guy who wanted to buy an apartment here, and then I had to step in for him because he wasn't a citizen. I mean, you have to go through land commission. I mean, it's a whole lot, and he can't do that because
It's not here.
he's not a local
So
person. You
you
understand?
let's put aside the process.
Mhm.
Which people do you think purchase the apartments more, foreigners or locals? Let's put away the process.
Well, no, I think the diaspora, the people outside, purchase it more compared to the locals. For me, yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, from experience, I think I've seen quite a number of foreigners owning some of these apartments. In fact,
But
even
wait, no, but
even
actually, for me, what if I say foreigners? What I mean is like, should I say foreign nationals?
Yeah,
Is that the right
Ghanaian
thing?
based.
Ghanaians based,
yeah.
yeah,
So
Yeah,
the
outside.
diasporans,
outside,
yeah.
yes. That's what I mean.
Right.
It turns out that they purchase it more than the actual foreigners. Let me say that.
But make I ask something. This one, small controversy. Do you think it's a lot of money? Because if you are looking to purchase an apartment,
Mm,
the lowest you are looking at is probably like $89,000. And
let's say
let me see,
90,000
around Cantonment Airport, high-end areas.
Mhm.
Do you think that these people legitimately have those monies?
How are they buying it if they don't legitimately?
I mean,
We are not in their pockets.
exactly. But even if you're talking about legitimacy, it's relative. How I make my money and how you make your money. That one day.
Something there somewhere.
Oh, nothing is
No, because the middle income class is more
No, but
than like
I mean, if
70% of the population. If I'm right,
No,
I don't
but-
know. Make we check.
yeah,
I'm not
but,
sure, but
but you
no,
see,
but-
the
no, but you see-
apartments are also not owned by everyone. They are not asking everyone to come for it. They are not building it in. Sorry,
but then it
they are
seems
not
like-
building it
but
in Ofanko.
they get sold out every time.
I beg to differ on that. I was even going to talk about it. It looks like some developers are able to sell all their apartments. We have certain apartments that have been there for 5 years, and you pass by and then you see that they are still empty, and you still see for sale and those things. Their
Exactly.
billboards are all over. But the ones that we all know, I don't know if we can mention names.
For now,
For now,
Yes,
I don't think-
there are developers that are able to sell even before they are.
Yeah, which is the off plan.
Exactly.
And I think that's the best.
That's
Because
the best.
No,
Yeah.
but people also have off plan. I have a cousin that reached out to me, wanted to get an apartment. And I told him that I don't know the developer. I cannot trust the developer. These are the developers I've worked with. And later he came back to me and said that, bro, thanks so much for that advice, because my friends got the apartment and there's no one coming in there.
coming in.
Yes,
Yeah.
although it's in a prime area, and we'll talk about that, like which apartment you should invest in, what you need to look
Yes.
into, what you need to look at before you invest in those things. But like I was saying, I think it is not all the developers that are able to sell.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
Yeah, that
I think
property.
before you even decide that you buy an apartment, you need to look at the reputation of the people and
Exactly.
how marketable the people are. I mean, if we can't mention names, but you go and buy apartment from some real estates that they are not really known, and you are not able to, after purchasing it, you are not able to market it to get much profits or much income. I mean, you the landlord, you're going to be frustrated.
Yeah.
Because to be like you've bought, you've invested and you're not.
No, but I think even if you buy an apartment, I don't think you're looking at the short-term benefits, because you can't make that income back in the short term.
That brings us to the question of so if you buy an apartment, how many years are you expecting to recoup?
I think you should look at a minimum of 10 years.
But how many people have that time to even wait for 10 years? Because, you know, you see, a lot of people don't have this, a lot of people don't have the, have not been advised or have not been, what was the right word?
They are not well informed
They're
on
not well informed on some
investments.
investments they make. They feel like, oh, there's a saturation of apartments in Ghana. People are buying. There are new facilities coming, so let's buy it. Let's buy it. You know, they feel like it's a retirement plan,
Yeah.
so they just go in and then they buy it without having a proper plan or seeking proper advice. And now, after buying it, they expect that within a year or two, they
To
need to
make
get
years.
Well,
money.
No, and you see, the thing is that I don't blame them.
There be too much.
I really,
Well, I'm just saying,
no,
but,
I don't blame them.
But there's some point
It
that
is, it is.
they wish within 5 years they should be making the
It's
money.
not possible.
No, but I don't blame them for thinking that way. If the developer comes to you and they sell it to you, they give you that impression that once we sell it to you, you can give it back to us to manage for you, and oh, you're going to get your money. That is the market, or that is what they are telling
you
them.
see, I think that's if that only works if you are guaranteeing the buyer there's an amount every month.
I mean,
If
that's
you are
so, but you see, for them, they are
guaranteeing
just
me,
marketing.
no, if you are guaranteeing me $2,000 every month, then I know that in 5 years or 10 years I'm making my money back.
They can only
But
make
if it's
an
not
estimate.
guaranteed, then
No, but you see, before they even tell you that, there's been proof. They've studied the market. They've sold apartment before. They know that, oh, when I sell this to you within this period, you should be making this money. So they're able to tell you. So when they come out to market, they are not marketing just because they just want you to buy the apartment, or because they've been able to sell some of their units, and they know that people like end up getting. I don't think 5 years is far fetched to make your.
no.
I don't think it's far. Even 3 years, I don't think it's still far fetched. If you're owning a studio, and then maybe you are getting good business, like proper, let's take aside the expenses and everything, I should think maybe you should be able to break even. You should be able to get what you invested in, but afterwards, and then maybe you start getting the profit that you expect.
One thing that I've heard as mentioned, you mentioned the studio going for $85,000 to $90,000. You mentioned that if you are guaranteeing me a minimum of $2,500, we are talking in dollars. This is a question that a lot of people ask. Why are we always pricing in dollars? They are selling it in dollars. If you're booking for short let, you're selling it in dollars. Like, why? Why?
Firstly, I think as Jeff mentioned, most of the owners of these properties are Ghanaian nationals but are foreign based. And they get these properties. Most of the people that even build the properties are foreigners, foreign contractors.
But you are in Ghana.
And they sell it to them in foreign currency.
No, so that's my question.
It's a trickle down effect. That's what happens.
I also think maybe we need to, but what I also think is, you know, when they start the investment, when they start the construction, of course, some loans may have been taken, and definitely because they go and take it in foreign currencies and all, so they end up pricing in
foreign currencies. Still going back.
Yes.
In order not to lose on their profits and then their loans, because if you go and take a loan in foreign currency and you come and charge in cedis,
I think that, well, for in terms of property management or even short let, to me, I think this industry is one of the few that is not cash and carry. For instance, we are in September and someone can book your apartment for, in fact, I have a booking for January next year.
Yes.
You understand? Imagine someone books your apartment for 1,200 Ghana cedis, or booked it in January for 1,200 Ghana cedis. You and I know that 1,200 Ghana cedis in January is not the same 1,200 Ghana cedis.
Inflation go baba.
You bab. So I think it's because of the currency. Usually we trade in currencies that are stable, but I think, you know,
even now the US is not stable. Even now it's not stable at all. So it's one of the issues we are having dealing with clients.
So, but do you think that the trade in foreign currency affects the industry or the market?
Well, for the consumer, I think yes, it does, because um, you know, for the local person, for instance, they really don't understand why you be charging me in dollars, and then we are spending in, let's say, cities. But for the investor, the landlord, I've already purchased the apartment in dollars, so you pay me in cities is going to devalue what sort of, well, any form of investment I've made in it, because one, when the dollar, so let's use the dollar. When the dollar shoots up, it benefits me, because at the end of the day, my one cedi yesterday won't be um, one cedi today. So there'll be some sort of like increment in margin.
So now that the dollar
Uh,
dropped from 17 to 12 now,
Yeah,
how has it
yes,
affected
but
you?
you see, if I'm still charging in dollars, I don't feel the effect compared to if I was to be charging in cedis,
Oh, because you're taking it in
USD.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I mean, in in recent times, we know that the government is also trying to clamp down on people charging in USD.
But
I
but
think they are not even implementing it themselves. Did you see the latest GFA post on the salaries and wages of the
Yeah, yeah,
footballers?
yeah, yeah,
They
yeah, yeah.
even what's the name?
Pay them
Pay
in
them in
dollars,
USD.
yeah.
USD.
So if they are not setting a good example, how are the people supposed to follow it? And I think the regulations, even people who are supposed, they know the people that are charging in USD. They know very well, but then
Well, for me, I recently transitioned into from shortlet to
Yeah,
resort.
resorts.
yeah,
Yeah, and I mean, we've already started charging in Ghana cedis, but you see, the thing is that the OTAs that you're using are also in
exactly.
USD. So
I
then
also,
what happens?
I
I
think
was about to
Yeah,
come
it's
so
to
it's
that,
not,
not
because
it's not easy for you to regulate
huh,
something like that.
I,
If someone
I don't
books
think
on
it's in
Airbnb,
USD. It's your settings, so you can set it to the currency that you want. But whoever is going to book will see it in the
in
currency
their
that
currency,
they've set it.
so whatever
yes,
it is, it's still foreign
but
currency.
it still boils down to the same thing, because even if you set it to your local currency, they are still using an
Change
exchange
rate,
rate.
which will not go in favor of you.
Exactly. Because if, let's say, I'm charging, like he said, the resort, let's say he's charging an apartment for like 2,500 Ghana cedis, and then it's being marketed on, um, let's say, Expedia. Meaning he needs to adjust the rate such that when a person is booking, he's getting it at 2,500 Ghana cedis. But how much is the person outside, the US person, seeing it in dollars?
Dollars, yeah.
You understand? So that figure the person is seeing in dollars, is it favorable to, to that guest? It's something we also need to look at, because when you're pricing in dollars, okay, let's say, for Expedia, you can't overprice some things. It's just like
Yeah,
Airbnb, you can't overprice, because you need to be within some like some
A threshold.
a threshold. Yeah. So if you're not careful and you overprice, because you're saying you're trying to charge in CDs, it might affect. But with the dollars, it's easier to regulate.
I know. So I know we are all into the business. So when the dollar dropped to, was it like 10 CDs for the
Yeah.
banks? How were you guys managing or operating? Were you increasing your rates or you're maintaining the same rates? Because at a point where 80 was the dollar was 16 CDs, $80 was going to give you more. And now there was this point where the dollar was 10 CDs. Were you increasing your prices to, let's say, 100 or 120 to match it, or you maintain the same price? Because I feel like if you change it to 120 or let's say $150, it becomes expensive for the foreigners.
For the foreigners, yes.
For the locals, you give them the exchange rate and then it's still the
Exactly.
same. But for the foreigners, they look at it and be like, this apartment is $120.
It's not worth it. Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
It's not
Yeah,
worth
that's
it.
true.
Yeah. So how are you guys managing it?
I mean, it was actually a struggle, but I know some property managers shifted from the foreign currency to
Local.
the local currency. But where the
You
challenge
see, I
is,
get where
so
you're-
now
yeah.
when it shoots up, are you maintaining the CD amount? Or
I get what you're saying, but that only works with direct bookings. When you list your booking on booking.com or Expedia,
okay.
that's where the challenge is. Are you
Yeah.
increasing it or maintaining it? Because if the foreigner comes, he's paying with his card, you just pay 80 USD.
I think with the OTs,
Airbnb, Airbnb, they make payment to your bank with
yeah,
the bank for like
this
exchange rates.
Yes, I think with the OTs, it's difficult to regulate. If you are pricing based on the exchange rate, it's difficult to regulate because you are pricing based on the demand and supply.
Yeah.
You understand? So if you are saying that, I mean, it's difficult to do that, to say that because the dollar rate has dropped, okay, let me increase my apartment to 120 instead of the previous amount, $100. It's tough because the main reason why you're regulating the prices is because you want your occupancy to be high. You understand? And then that is mainly based on the demand and supply. So if it's difficult, it's tough. For me, during that time, I couldn't increase nor decrease. I maintained the what do you call it, the rate I was using. But for Airbnb, for some period, what we did was we did this smart pricing. You know, that one works with that dynamic pricing, so it's able to tell you.
But I get all of that. Let's pretend you go with a smart pricing. Now everything is balanced. One thing is that the standard of living doesn't change. When the exchange rate drops, fry tour that was sold at 100 CDs doesn't drop. Bundles, MTN bundle, like internet bundles, DSTV when dropping. So how do you manage such a situation? Because right now, let's say you're making 800 CDs out of a night stay. Let's just say as an example, and you're giving 500 CDs to the homeowner. How are you going to pay for internet for that one night, electricity for that one night, cleaning for that one night? Because the standard of living hasn't dropped. They haven't decreased the price of detergents. They haven't decreased the price of internet. They haven't decreased the price of electricity. Tariffs are still where they are.
So yeah, it's a difficult situation, but you know you're in it to make money. If it's not helping you, what you do is that you adjust the rate such that it benefits you. So that is why when you're pricing your apartment, you don't just price it because the dollar rate has. You also need to take into
factor in all those things.
What am I paying for housekeeping? How much am I paying for DSTV? How much am I paying for utilities? And then how much profit am I? What's the profit margin you are going to? How much are you paying the homeowner? That is if the apartment is not yours, or you're on commission based system with your homeowner. So you need to factor all these things in. If it doesn't work for you, I mean, I've seen people move from the hospitality industry to something totally different because they just couldn't
handle it.
Yeah, they just couldn't keep up. Yeah, and I think it was a difficult period, but it's been a lesson for me personally. It's been a lesson for me.
So like I said, you just need to have a threshold. Like you need to know that, okay, so when I fix the price to this amount, it won't affect me too much, and then I won't end up losing. Not to also break even, because if you're breaking even,
there's no business.
There's no business.
So it should be such that you're making some substantial income, and then also, but you're not losing. Like you should have that threshold.
And I mean, I want to throw this question at you two. Remember, I am now in the resort and hotel business. Do you think that the service apartment has affected the traditional hotel business in any way?
I think that one you for answer I'm small because you've experienced.
Have you experienced
Yeah,
both?
you experience both sides, so
I mean, so you can give us what do you call it? For me, you talk about it a little. Let me see.
Well, for me, I think a lot of people are gearing towards the short let more because it's more about how they want their stay to go. I don't know if it makes sense. Let me put it this way: if you book a resort or if you book a hotel, when you stay, your cooking, sorry, your feeding would either come from the restaurant or you go out
go
to
out
eat.
again. Yeah.
Yes.
You cannot prepare your own food in the apartment.
And you guys don't get kitchen for the resort. You guys don't get kitchen.
But
Oh, it's not a hot
be
kitchen?
the canteen. More like then they cook, bring them for the.
No, so he's
Ah.
he's asking. Are you
in the
asking
room.
In the room.
No, so what you saw, and please, he's asking because he has seen one of the rooms. So it has a kitchenette, but it's not for cooking. There's nothing there for you to cook. It's actually there for you to serve or sit around and eat.
So it's just
So it's
like
not a hot kitchen.
so it's almost like the traditional setting.
hotel. Yeah.
Yes. So so it's a resort. So it's like a traditional hotel. So it's not. That is not it. So, but I think that for for hotels, there are a lot of restrictions. There are a lot of
Yeah.
rules.
Yeah.
The apartments or short let side, they are a bit relaxed on certain things.
I feel like the apartment they give you the home feel. Like they give you the home feel, like yeah, because as you said, when you book there's in a hotel, a lot of restrictions. You, even for some of them, you can't take food into
Yeah,
the
yeah,
hotel. Even if you sneak in food, you don't have a microwave to microwave your food. Like, but the apartment, they give you that vibe. The apartment, you go if you cook your meal, you can plan your stay in an apartment. All you go do be say you just go buy your groceries, then you cook for the week like you did your house.
But you say some people too they like the hotel service more sick of.
you are being served.
Yeah.
Some
being
people like to
served.
be served.
You understand? Hey. Oh, I mean, few service apartments offer some extra services that
Like breakfast,
like
and
breakfast
incorporate
and
the
then,
breakfast and
yes.
things for
But
inside.
the hotel, you know, say, oh, maybe once I arrive at the airport, they're already there to pick me up. They can even help you from the what do you call it? From the immigration. I mean, is that the immigration, right? Yeah. They can help you from there to the what do you call it? To the car park, take you to the hotel. Like you know that
kind
vibe.
that kind princess treatment.
Princess treatment. But for the service apartment, like the Airbnbs, just a few actually go beyond actually contacting you ahead of time, and then they'll be
Some
at the
say be
airport.
self-checking.
Some service self-checking.
But you see, that's all part of the experience.
Yes.
The experience.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to go through the lobby,
And then
be waiting.
Exactly.
Are you here for business or pleasure? Like,
It be long,
like,
it be long.
it be long,
Exactly.
it be long.
But you see, no, but you see, the mix of the two is good.
Yes.
So you have to find the
There are
balance.
few
The balance,
businesses
exactly.
who are able to incorporate both, and then they give pressure. And I think that even the short let industry, they really give the hotels pressure.
Pressure, yeah.
For instance, hotel, what do you have? Restaurant, pool, live band.
Yeah.
But now service apartments, now they have cinema.
Yes.
If you're in a hotel and then you want to watch a movie, you might have to go to the mall or
exactly.
have to wait for maybe their Friday movie night.
Yeah.
But some of them have cinema, like they're
cinemas.
giving them pressure. They are giving people the experience. It's not just conferencing. These,
Yeah, I mean, and I mean, most of the service apartment now is more like one-stop shop. So you have tennis courts, There's even some that has gaming room,
Gaming
Yes,
room,
yes,
yeah.
yes, yes, yes.
gaming
Yes.
room, tennis court, basketball courts, the pools.
They are
Charlie.
changing the game.
So
changing the
it make it come make so good that anytime you're traveling, the first place you look like the first thing you look for is like an apartment. Now most people look for apartments more than hotels. If you will get the people that really look for hotels with like serious businessmen way that they come for quick. I have like just like a few hours in town, like they count them. And you know, for hotels, you can check in at any time for most hotels
Yeah.
because they have a lot of rooms.
Yes.
For the service apartments, they depend. The thing is that because of the different homeowners, there are different people managing it. So everybody has their own check-in time and all of that.
Yeah.
So
But even that, it depends. It depends because if it's being, it depends on the terms. You know, some are being managed. Let me say co-managed by the homeowners. Some are also like fully managed by the property managers.
Yeah.
So it depends on what sort of contract you are in, which can also affect the check-in time and the check-in process. But even with that, I think you can still have some authority over.
Yeah. I want to go back to the pricing. Let's forget the currency. I want to talk about pricing. What goes into pricing? Because Charlie, sometimes some people would call you like, yo, I need an apartment. You mentioned the rate and they're like, hey, why?
not in the inside.
What's the inside? What does it come with? What goes into pricing?
I think a whole lot, like things.
I think
Look,
from the
taking out
from the client's perspective,
Mhm.
the client will go understand. The client is looking at it from, let me see, the client is just looking at it like,
how many hours am I staying?
How many hours am I? Somebody can call Charlie. I need just 2
I
hours.
go bed. I just go
I
bed.
need just 2 hours. But in those 2 hours, if that 2 hours they pass check-in time, you have to pay your cleaner extra, your housekeeper extra. All those things are things that you have to factor into it. Because at a certain point, they have closing hours. At a certain point, you can't call your cleaner to come and clean the room. It means the whole
So
night
far
is
as the
gone.
room has been used.
So far as the room has used, use the room, that be the hour.
Yeah.
But the thing is that there are people that want like short times. Somebody has a flight. He just wants to come in for 4 hours, 5 hours, just rest his head and go. So if he tells you, oh, let me pay $20 or $30, $20, you know they cover electricity.
No, at all.
You know they cover electricity.
The 4 hours if you on AC
turn on
alone,
AC and all. But you see, from the client's perspective, they know they see that.
The cleaner can't clean self. How much you will give?
Cleaner, you go take the things go laundry.
Yeah.
All of that.
Exactly.
You for put all those. And one thing is that if you don't record all those things, you go think say you are making money, but then
You're running at
a loss.
Yeah, you need
So
to
you need to like factor all those things and know how to price your apartment.
So one thing I have realized is that proximity to airport and location is a factor here in Ghana for pricing. You realize that the apartments that are in safe areas, closer to the airport, cantonment, East Legon, airport residential area, they are higher than apartments even in Tema.
Yeah, but I think first of all, when a foreigner is going to another country, the first thing they factor in is safety.
Yeah.
Yes. So when we are talking about areas like airports, especially cantonments, I mean, we have a lot of embassies around it, so the security is higher. So it plays a major role when it comes to pricing. You understand? Yeah. So let's say you take a place to like the airport residential. I mean, here in the airport residential, it's close to the airport. So of course, people
like building ones closer to the airport.
Closer to it, yes. Like
2 minutes walk from the airport.
But you know what they bust my mind? What they bust my mind be, the newer the apartment, the more expensive it is compared to the older ones.
That is what I used to think, but
But then
recently,
yeah. But now, like the new ones will come easily gone. But they are not able to generate revenue as much as the ones in cantonments, even the old ones.
yeah.
Yes, but I don't think it's just that. I also think it's the service that's been provided, because
But it's the same companies that are running multiple apartments.
yes, but it's not the same person who is providing the service. Yes, it's the same company that's built the design, but the individual.
But
You know,
what he's trying to say is that forget the property manager.
Mhm.
Generally, if you go to this particular facility, if you are charging above a certain amount, people are not going to book, even if it's a new apartment, even if it's a new development.
That's what I'm saying. That it also boils down to the service provided, because I mean, we know some companies who have properties at East Legon. I mean, they have properties at East Legon, and then they have properties at Cantonment.
Cantonment.
But you look at the patronage of the Cantonment one compared to that of East Legon, there's a difference.
Probably because cantonment is cantonment. We all know say Ghana here. East Legon day, but cantonment
East
be
Legon day,
cantonment.
but it be like East Legon before the locals.
Hey.
Hey.
So, yeah, that be the honest. It be like East Legon. If you study,
I disagree.
from my experience,
I disagree.
no, from my experience,
Coming from a butcher boy.
from
That's bold.
no, from my experience, I feel like most of the people who like get your accommodation in cantonments are usually like foreigners compared to East Legon. East Legon, you get a lot of students even. You get like our brothers or Niger people.
Yeah.
Niger people, we they take them as locals. We then them Norway we dey. But if you come to the cantonments, you get the Germans, the Japanese, the Indians, like all of those people.
So you mean so are you okay? So just to be clear, so are you saying that the caliber of persons also
affects the price?
pricing?
Yes, it does.
I don't think so.
I think it does.
They decide where they want to
I guess
go.
I guess some clients where sometimes they
think
come those days back in the day, he come easily gone. He come original no, he say no, see this place they look like hostel. You know they like.
Yeah, so based
Because
on
of
their
their-
preference. It's not because
It's not just one person.
right.
No, but I still disagree with you.
So in terms of what you are saying, I will agree with him that it is actually the services provided or the facility. If you take me to, I mean, you can be at airport residential area.
You know, I argue with you when it comes to the services.
Wait, I'm making a point. You can be at airport residential area, have a plush facility, and it doesn't have a swimming pool, it doesn't have a restaurant.
Exactly.
These are the things that they ask. People just want to come and not leave. It doesn't have
Do you
a
think-
shopping, a mart. It doesn't have
Do
anything.
you think the apartments in cantonments have? I'm giving like a typical example. Do you think the apartments in cantonments have better swimming pools than the one in East Legon?
It depends.
If you are considering,
depends.
if you are considering the view,
It's based on the
If you are-
developer.
The developer,
if you are
yes.
considering the view, you are considering what's the name? Other factors.
East Legon alone, I can count about 4 that have rooftop
Yes.
swimming pools,
And a lot
they're
of
all
people-
next to
and
each other.
If you
all
don't,
close to each
and if you
other.
don't stay in Ghana, or if you don't know about it, you prefer
Cantonment,
an apartment on the roof, a rooftop apartment. True or false?
I'm
roof.
confused.
You mean
A sky, yeah, I mean a rooftop swimming pool,
Well,
one that you can overlook the city compared to a normal
No,
swimming
but
pool.
but before you book, you definitely would have done your research. You would have gone through the reviews to see. It still boils down to the preference. If you are saying that there are not a lot of apartments in East Legon that have such, but I mean, I don't think that's the argument.
I
But
think the
yeah, I think
facilities.
What is the
Location.
facility? Swimming pool, what and what? Then cantonments why East Legon no more need.
East Legon, the apartment in East Legon, almost game room. Them get
They
What's it
have
called? Cinema.
restaurants. They have cinema.
restaurant.
That be my point. But
Walking
people are
tra-
still patronizing the one in cantonments more than the one in East Legon. at
No,
a higher
no,
price.
yes,
See their
so-
books.
so-
Have you gone through their books? How
At a
do you
higher
know that?
price. No,
No,
from
and
my
the rate.
experience.
No,
yes,
the
the
rate.
rate.
Okay.
Yeah, he's talking about the rate. He's
The
talking about
rate.
why are guests patronizing some apartments in
Generally,
cantonment.
cantonment is safer
Yes.
to me.
Yeah.
Generally,
So that is the only point.
I,
No,
I,
that's
I
not the only
think that
point.
is-
That's why I said-
that is one of the factors.
So that's what I said. It also
A lot
it
of
also
the embassies
depends-
are even in cantonments.
But
that
you know,
area.
no, let's put it. Even I mean, we can't trust the safety. Safety is a factor, but that's why I said it's not just about. It's also about the service that is being provided, because let's say.
But you see, the guy
You-
talk
you-
about service. When we are the tell you say which service, because if you talk about swimming pool, you talk about restaurant.
No, I'm talking about
Or you're
service.
talking about-
No, I'm talking about service in the sense that.
Not facilities.
No, I'm not talking about amenities. Oh. I'm talking about the service you, the individual, is providing.
The experience. The
there's
experience are
experience.
giving.
So
Is
yeah,
that
so
the
the
word?
experience. So you know, they talk about the
No, you see-
listen, that's what you bring up right now.
Yeah, but I'm
You say
saying
that
that.
what the person there
No, listen.
you are the listen
Listen to me. You are
the listen you.
you're looking at the argument from one perspective.
Okay.
We are talking about things that influence the price. Things. Why do guests? And your question is why do guests prefer cantonments to East Legon, despite the fact that we may be providing almost, or maybe East Legon may a facility in East Legon may have better amenities compared to some properties here in cantonment, but still people prefer here. We are saying that some of the factors has to do with safety. Also, another factor has to do with the service you provide, or like you said, the experience you provide to the guests, which is why we have something like loyal clients. You understand? Yes, other developers make, okay, exactly. Let me just give you this example. There are a lot of facilities that are coming up, a lot of properties that are coming up. But why are still people going to the older ones? This is where the argument started.
Yeah.
Do you remember? This is where the argument started. So why are people still going to the older ones? So one of the things we looked at is the safety that is being provided. Another thing that we also looked at is the service the individual is providing to this client. That's how come they are still coming back to this same property, despite the new ones that are still coming up. I don't know if you understand where I'm coming from.
I know the Barbie, but you because the experience they talk about it's like it be standard for some companies. You are supposed to give the guests the best of experiences so that at the end of the stay they will give you like the best reviews. But what be the name self? You guys they talk, where they tell you say the experience, then they give out for one company, they are giving the same experience everywhere, but people still prefer another location to the other one.
Yeah, so
that is where. So you are not limiting it to
just safety.
It is amenities. It is safety.
Now, so my question is amenities bang, Papa bang.
Oh, what kind of amenities?
No, you see, we are putting all together as one.
It's
you
fine.
cannot still go out and say that.
We're not for stretching this one.
No, because you let's because there's some.
People will be listening and then would want to know why some places are more expensive. Or
that's why I'm saying that the amenities you mentioned, such as like the swimming pool, the restaurant, the East Legon has the same thing. Or I'm lying.
Fine.
So okay, if they have it, is it safe? You see, so if you take this box, they move to the next
one.
Do they take it? Do you get it?
Are the rules good?
Safe?
Is it closer to the restaurants? Is it closer to pubs? Is it closer to clubs? Is it closer to town? Is it closer to tourist sites?
And
all these factors.
Mind you, when foreigners are coming in, they ask, how far is it from the city center? And to them, the city center is Accra main. So anything close to main Accra is the ish for them.
Somebody will ask you, like you said, the airport. People book closer to the airport. How long is this apartment from the airport? Oh, maybe
12 to 10 minutes.
12 to 10 minutes. What is the traffic situation from here to that? You see, they factor all this is because some people, when they're coming for business. It's not even for pleasure, purely business. So they don't want to stay somewhere. That's irrespective of whatever facilities they have there. He's coming for business, so he doesn't want to stay somewhere that maybe the traffic situation is going to affect him in the morning when he's going to the city, or maybe wherever he's going to. Understand? So they factor all these things in.
Now the Barbie guys, no yawa.
I want to now. I want
you do this thing, gang up against me. You go gang up bad.
Well, you know this. Why the
you the devil's advocate? Forget them. I want me to go deeper. And this one, it goes to the OG. You, Jeff, you the OG for this industry inside. How has the industry been taken into consideration post COVID and even before COVID? You have been in the industry, way longer than we have.
Okay, so for me, I'll say post COVID, I was still in the learning mode. But post COVID, I think there was competition, but the competition wasn't that high.
You mean pre-COVID?
Hey, sorry,
pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID, the competition wasn't that high. It was the patronage for service apartments wasn't really a thing compared to the traditional hotels. People were still patronizing the traditional hotels more.
Right.
Yeah, and then the short let apartments wasn't something that people had adapted to. Though the business wasn't bad, but not compared to what do you call it? How post COVID, not compared to that. Let me just say during the COVID era, for instance, it shifted from short let to actually prioritizing long stays because now you're focusing more of occupancy than just the revenue that you're going to generate.
Right.
So I think that transition to what we have now. Now, people actually got to experience how like living in an apartment where you can actually buy food for yourself, do your own cooking, more like home away from home experience. People had that experience, and now it shifted. And so the post-COVID, now people started patronizing it more. So it actually increased the demand for the service apartments more compared to earlier.
Do you think the year of return too also had an effect on it?
It did.
When was the year of return? Was it
2019? Yeah, 2019.
That was pre-COVID.
Yeah, that was year of return
post-COVID.
Post-COVID.
Year of return, sure.
Yeah, it was post-COVID.
It was pre-COVID. It was after.
Yeah.
It was after year of return before.
I think the year
I
before.
think that is what really.
Yeah.
So it was after that people, what do you call it? So during that time, people had, come to Ghana. Okay, so you realize that the service apartment thing was known by most foreigners, but not
the locals.
So during that time, like, people patronized it. But for me, I think when the COVID hit, it actually drew people attention more because we had people staying for that long time, and they had that experience how it felt. Because rather than going to the hotel where you always have to buy food, you don't have that luxury to cook and all.
I think at a point there even was an indoors. You couldn't go out.
You understand? So imagine you're at an apartment where there's a supermarket there, there's a restaurant there, there's a gym there, there's a pool there. Fine, maybe you can't swim, but during that period, you can just go to the.
You're not allowed to swim.
You're not allowed to swim.
Small COVID.
Yeah, people were swimming.
But you go fear.
But
you be dancing some.
You see, but during that period, people. For me, I feel people actually had the experience and they knew how it felt. So when after COVID, the patronage became high.
And I guess because of that, developers realized the gap.
Exactly.
And then
the market,
there was an influx of these.
Exactly.
So then you think, what are the advantages of this whole?
For the consumer, or let me say for the guests or for the clients, I think the benefits in the sense that they have options. You understand? So they get to choose where I should book, and then and also helps them in terms of competitive pricing, because this time they know that maybe old apartment that they used to stay in that were charging, let's say, probably $100. Maybe they want to go there again, but because there are other this and that have come up and they're also charging $100.
You'd like to experience.
The other one experience it, yes. And then when it comes to the property owners, or let's say the developers, I think it also helps them in the sense that it helps them to now be innovative, because
Yeah.
now you've seen that new properties are coming out. There are modern things, key cards. I mean, people used to use key, now they're using key card now, thumbprint.
Yeah.
So yeah, it brings
Now, even
innovation.
Face
Exactly.
ID.
So the more properties keep coming up, the more
Yeah, it's
innovation.
becoming challenge.
I think-
they are becoming challenged.
I also
Yes.
think the disadvantage in that aspect to a homeowner, it's that your property becomes less attractive. If
Redundant.
in 2020 I bought an apartment here and now there's a new one that everybody's going to, all of a sudden the money I'm generating from that apartment
Yeah.
goes low. So do I buy a property or do I buy an apartment in the new building that is up?
I mean, if you want to make a business out of it, immediately you make your money, you start thinking of where next to
But
Yes.
but remember in the beginning we said that it take you about like 10 years to
No.
get your income, your money back.
Yeah, that's why we said
But
that
now,
it's relative.
but now the problem is that almost every year a new property is coming up.
Yeah, so that is where the innovation comes into, let's say, the old properties. Okay, so you know that this property has come. This property could even be just right on my nose, like very close to me. And then these apartments, they are providing a lot of services that, like, let's say they have some amenities that we don't have. So what do? You need to, what do you call it, renovate your place. Maybe-
Get a TV with Netflix.
Exactly. Get a smart TV.
I know where this is
You
coming
understand?
from.
Some jobs they can't cut DSTV. Make you no get TV with Netflix.
And as you are marketing it, maybe previously you're not providing tea items, or you're not providing some beverages
yeah.
or whatever. Now,
Now you have
inculcate
to-
it, yes.
So that's what the experience
comes in. So you
So
need
I
to change
think-
some little things.
Yeah,
for
you
it to-
just need to find a way
Way
to
to-
stay competitive within the industry.
Yeah. And one thing I didn't even add, it even brings employment to.
the employment. The other counter is that you people forget your social studies. You people forget
It
your
creates
your-
jobs.
They create jobs, yeah, because I think it has helped a lot
Yeah,
of
yeah, it
people.
has also helped a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
I think I've seen a lot of people venturing into this business, and a lot of discussions are also going on social media. You are a social media guy, so
Boss, I
you-
beg you.
you know disappointed Gen Z.
Maybe I'm the old man here.
Charlie, he left small, like I become as Gen Z. He left small, but
No,
how
before
you
you
do
pass. The way I suffer plant things.
No, you there right now, you be old man.
All right, Charlie, guys, thank you so much for showing up today. It's been an insightful
Yeah.
discussion. Charlie, I feel like we start 5 minutes but we end down.
Yeah,
But we really talk. I think for now we for end here. If this is your first time joining, this is the Check-in Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. And click on the notification button so that whenever we post, you receive an alert. Maybe you could be the first person to watch or comment.
Yeah.
This episode was sponsored by Apartment Opal. You can call them, their numbers are down there. You can call them, they'll sort you out. Like a sweet apartment like this. Guys, we're out. My name is Justice, and I'm checking out again with Roland and Jeff.